How do we support them?
I think one of the best things that my parents ever did, and you know what's even better, they lived up to it. It's one thing to say it, it's another thing when you get to experience it as a teen and realize they're telling the truth. They said, no matter how stupid what you do is, if you are in any danger or think you're in danger, you call us first, we deal with that first, and then we'll deal with the consequences later. And there is always going to be less consequences from you telling us first than there are if we find out on our own. But the promise was we'll always make sure that the immediate danger is taken care of for you. And we will always make sure that the consequences are less, but still present. That's for sure. They
Mhm.
are less, though, than if we caught you doing it. And that's a pretty good deal. And so this is a funny story now. It was not so funny back then, but I tested this one time because it was probably like the fifth time I smoked pot. And guess what? I had a panic attack while smoking. So panic attacks already suck. Panic attacks your fifth time into smoking pot. That's like I'm shocked I even tried to smoke again. That's really kind of weird trying to think about what the process was back then. But I was so scared. And we were at this movie theater and like the sounds super loud in the movie theater, right? The screen's big. Like they're trying to create an experience at the movie theater for sober people. And so it was just too intense. I could not handle it. I thought I was dying. I thought something was happening to me. And I called my parents and they were not mad. They picked me up from the movie theater and they made sure I was not dying, right? And they realized very quickly this was a kid who smoked too much pot and was getting anxious. So I think we sat outside the hospital for like an hour just in case, right? Just so I can know we're there if anything needs to happen, but otherwise we're not going to get this all involved. And then sure enough, I calmed down. They took me home. Absolutely no yelling that night. And then the next day, um, I heard some things we won't share on the podcast, but they actually lived up to that. And that created such a high level of trust for certain future events, which did happen, which, I actually found myself in probably real dangerous situations. And I did call them and same